Hine Gemara. The Gemara says, Haloshain, describing Chanukah, Kishigavra, Beis Malchus Chashmanoy V'Nitzchon. Tells us the Chanukah story, and tells us that the Yevanim are making wars on Israel and Matamet the Beis HaMikdash, and the climax of the story is Kishigavra, Beis Malchus Chashmanoy V'Nitzchon, and then there was a strengthening, a gevura on the part of the Beis Malchus Chashmanoy, and they had victory. Victory is a good word. We don't use that word enough. It's victory.
We need it.
You know, during the last Lebanon war, so I was Masader Kedushin somewhere, and the Chassan and Kala asked me to, under the schus of the chuppah, to say a tefillah with everybody for the soldiers in Lebanon and all the people that were with Shechina up north. So, of course I did. So I spoke under the chuppah about the importance of our tefillah and how we need a Yeshua, and we need a Yeshua, and we need to be able to get out of here safe and get out of here with our lives, and Hakadosh Baruch Hu has to guard each one of us, and everybody should be mispelled. So standing next to me, reading the Ksuva, was Rav Steinsaltz. So Rav Steinsaltz said into the mic, Yeshua, we need victory! Victory! What's with Yeshua? Yeah. So my first reaction was like, what are you interrupting me in the middle of? Krista right over here. But then I realized that he's saying like a davar abok, you know, a chakira amuka. Are we looking to get out with our skin, or are we looking for victory? We're taking over Eretz Yisrael. We're here in Eretz Yisrael. Malchus. So that was Makabel. Victory.
You could have victory without a Yeshua.
It could be, and that was his point.
Yeah. No, I'm saying you can have victory, but it's not necessarily Yeshua. Yeshua could be called victory. That's the nusach.
Or victory. Why? You could have Yeshua means you're saved.
Yeshua is more final.
Yeshua means you're saved. I don't think so. Yeshua's deliverance. Okay, I'm saved from a makom sakana.
Phew, they could come back tomorrow.
Phew, yeah, and they do. And they do.
All right.
So why is Chanukah victory?
But it's just interesting lashon of Chazal. It isn't like Kisha Malchus Beis Chashmanoy. They took over the Beis Hamikdash and they lit the candles, Vidliku Neres, V'chatzris Kachava. Kisha Malchus Beis Chashmanoy V'nitzchum. It wasn't. What kind of an atzochin was it exactly? So, our subject. So, fragt Reb Tzadok a gewaldige kasha. V'oz kasha and Chazal. Oz lo hayu malachim. The Beis Chashmanoy were not kings at all. These kohanim that did the fight on Chanukah and Nitzchum and won the war, they weren't kings. Rak acher kav zara lachlu lahem shem melucha. The Beis Chashmanoy, the Malchus Beis Chashmanoy, that they became the kings of Israel during the end of the second Beis HaMikdash, which led us right up to the Chorban of the Beis HaMikdash, which they became very corrupt. Many of them were very corrupt. Many of them had their hands in the pushka of the Beis HaMikdash. Many of them made all kinds of deals with the ironically, with the Yevanim, and then with the Romans afterwards. So the Malchus, they basically caused the Chorban Beis HaMikdash. But that was the Malchus Beis Chashmanoy. The Chashmanoyim were the tzaddikim in the time of the Beis HaMikdash, which were fighting against the Yevanim and the Misyavnim and giving clarity to Klal Yisrael of their mission and their cause, and to stop assimilating with the Greeks. Those were a group of tzaddikim which were not called Beis Chashmanoy. So what does the Gemara mean when it says Kishagavra Beis Malchus Chashmanoy V'Nitzchum? Eisen, Kashas Eisen, right? Ramban, famous Ramban, Parshas Vayechi, Kosav. Shemipnei zeh nenshu Chashmanoyim. That what was the onesh of the Chashmanoyim? Af shehayu chasidei elyon v'nasa nes kazeh al yadam. that even though they were Chasidei Elyon and they had such an unbelievable miracle come about through their hands, and Mikol Malchim Nanshu, but the onus of the base Chashmanoy was Shlo Nishtayir Mizaram Klal, that there isn't one Chashmanoy left any longer. Ad Sha'amru called the Amar Mi Beis Chashmanoy Beis Chashmanoy Malkukas, in anybody who says that I am part of the family of the Chashmanoy, Abdahud Laishtair Minayu Elahi Rabisa, there was only one girl left of the Beis Chashmanoy and she committed suicide. There is no more. Chazal say there is no more Beis Chashmanoy. I told the story on Shabbos, I think, that when the Bnei Yissaschar came to the Chayzer from Lublin, and he showed him the manuscript of a sefer, so it's on the Chod Shana. He wrote on Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev, and on Chanukah he has today it's a separate sefer. Chanukah he had way more than in all the other parts of the year. So the Chayzer of Lublin said to him, "Why are you writing so much on Chanukah, not on Rosh Hashanah, not on Yom Kippur, not on Sukkot?" So he said, "I think I'm from Beis Chashmanoy." He says, "I think I'm from Beis Chashmanoy, at least the Gilgal of Beis Chashmanoy." So the Chayzer told him that you can't be from Beis Chashmanoy. You can't be from Beis Chashmanoy. It's an impossible situation. So he said, "So I don't know. So you tell me, Chayzer Lublin, why am I writing so much on Chanukah?" So he says, "Because you're from Shevet." Chayzer told him, "You're from Shevet Yissaschar, and Shevet Yissaschar was the Beis Din which paskined for Klal Yisrael that Chanukah should be a Yom Tov." V'achein, he went out of the meeting with the Chayzer of Lublin and he called the Sefer Bnei Yissaschar. Even they had no kesher with Yissaschar at all. It was a kesher with Yissaschar. He was going to call it Bnei Chashmanoy. Instead he called it Bnei Yissaschar. So the Ramban says, Navla B'Igro Visa, the Gemara says that the last Chashmanoy fell off the roof and died. There's nobody, even if the K-boys would have been there, you could at least say, "Look, I'm through my mother, I'm from Beis Chashmanoy." But even that's not. Because I'm up to Ramban, Sha'oid Sham Haya Mishum Sha'avru Alma Shenemar La Yoser Shevet Mi Yehuda. The reason why they received this Einish, says the Ramban, a well-known Ramban, is because you're Kohanim, you're Tzaddikim, you saved Klal Yisrael, you made Milchama, you became a Tzava, very nice. You shouldn't have become kings, because kings is only for Shevet Yehuda. La Yasser Shevet Mi Yehuda. You're not from Yehuda, you're obviously from Shevet Levi. So what are you becoming? What are you becoming? The Malchei Yisrael.
Moshe Rabbeinu.
Moshe Rabbeinu.
Oh, very good.
Are we saying that their malchus lasted hundreds of years and then they were wiped out, or that that their malchus was short-lived, but that affected them for hundreds of years, that later it caused them to go hungry? Is there nothing left of the
Chashmanoy, I'm not sure which I'm not sure if either one of those are the what?
Okay.
The what? What are you
So
saying?
in other words, we're saying on the one hand that nothing is left of them, we're also saying that it caused the second Churban. So how long did they actually last?
200 years.
So for them having all died, it was not so frustrating because it wasn't just 5 people, there was must have been hundreds of.
The Beis Chashmanoy.
Basically, must have hundreds
Huge,
of people.
huge.
Thousands of people, yeah.
Just look at it. Even if you go through Josephus, and you look at the family of the Chashmanoy King, Yani Amelech, Beis Chashmanoy. All of those Yanais. Yanai was like Paro. You know, Yanai was a name, right? Christianity came from the Chashmanoy also. It was we believe that John the Baptist was Yanai Hamelech, or Ben. Yanai is Greek, interesting, for Yochanan. Yochanan Kohen Gadol. Yochanan Kohen Gadol, Shimish Pekuna, Shmonim Shana, V'achar Kach Nasa Tzeduki.
That was father?
No.
Yochanan was John.
Grandson of the Maccabees.
Yochanan was John the Baptist.
Yeah, the one who became a Tzeduki was John the Baptist. He became close. Became the Rebbe of Yashka. I'm not sure if this is a Jewish belief or just mine, but I'm Jewish. It's almost borrowed to me that when Yeshu HaNotzri ran out to the Dead Sea region, run away from the Pharisees. That's us. We're Pharisees. When he went to run away from us, so he ran to, obviously sort of a spiritual person, he ran to find the derech, and he found this derech by Yochanan Kohen Gadol, Shishimesh Bekuna Shmonim Shana, at a very old age, ran out to the Masada region, Qumran region, to do his own thing, and really, I think it's not our subject. I don't want to go into it right now, but really, I think that the religion of Christianity is the religion of John the Baptist, who was the religion of Yochanan Kohen Gadol.
So it's like another Onesh.
Who was an Onesh for his grandfather, but he was named after Yochanan Kohen Gadol, Chashmanoy Yochanan Kohen Gadol was 4 generations back. It seems from the Gemara and the history of the Yochanan. Shemesh Bekuna Shmonim Shana means he didn't do a chet. For Shmonim Shana, otherwise he wouldn't have survived. He spoke one word of Lashon Hara, you can't survive the Chodesh HaKadosh of Yom Kippur. It's very scary. What does the Gemara learn from this story? Gemara has one sentence to learn from this story. He was pretty close to Yom Kippur. You can't be a Kohen Gadol until you're 20 years old. 13, but the Hanhaga Lamaisa was 20 years old, the Gemara says. So he was 20 when he became the Kohen Gadol. He was 100 when he became a Tzeduki. Gadol Ador. And what's al tamin ba'atzmacha, not according to the way I'm learning it, it's not just the pshat, well, Nebuch, he became an acher, but he started a religion, in a sense. Dechei Admoin B'Tzel Salmoin is the end of the most Surah of Chanukah. The end of the Beis Chashmanoy is Dechei Admoin B'Tzel Salmoin. It's referring to, this was written, the whole most Surah was written by an anonymous person by the name of Mordechai, obviously. Most Surah Rabbi Yaacov Haber, who lived in the time of the Crusaders, and spoke about the history of the Jewish people in a niggin. There is no other niggin like that I know. No. Spoke about the whole history of the Jewish people, and ends off with it's a niggin that was dispashet. The Teimanim sing this song. Everybody sings most or different begudim, but the words were dispashet everywhere. So we don't even know who wrote it. Some anonymous Mordechai. Wrote it. The words are deep. The words are beautiful. It's kedai to. I have a suggestion for Chanukah. Maybe we'll still do, like change the niggin. Not that it's not a nice niggin. It was a nice niggin. It is a nice niggin, but change the niggin because that'll change our whole thinking of it. Just change the niggin. There's other most surahs that, like sometimes you need to change in order to get a new charge of the most surah. But okay, the Chanukah story in the sense of the story of the Jewish people. So anon b'didam. What's the Indian? Oh, thank you very much. Brought donuts for you.
Thank you.
So Yochanan was the grandfather, or he was him?
Grandfather and the grandson. They're called Yochanan, and then Yani.
Saying Yashka's Rebbe was Yochanan, which one?
John.
Was Yochanan Kohen Gadol?
Not the father of the Chashmanoyim. The grandson of the Chashmanoyim.
Was one of the
Later, grandson of the Maccabees. In fact, he was probably on the transition edge of the Kohanim becoming kings. Probably that's where this took place, at the end of the time of the Beis HaMikdash, of the Bayit Sheni.
So
Thank you, Eliezer. Let's put it out for everybody, please. So let's get back to our kasha. Why are they called Malchus Beis Chashmanoy when these were the tzaddikim of the Beis Chashmanoy? V'zeh loy matzinu lahem rak achar zeh loy matzinu lahem rak achar kama doros. It only took many generations. Ube'eis hanes, at the time of the miracle, the Chanukah story, the miracle, rak kohanim u'matisyo ha'ikohen gadol was a small olam. Matisyo Yochanan. B'yesh lahavin lama amr v'gemara loshen u'kishegaver beis malchus chashmanoy. Okay, v'al d'kakashim shah. Diukim shah. Says Reb Tzadok. Furthermore, Gab kol ha'inyan yifla. The whole thing is a Pele. Sha'av Shibatzinu be Yeravam Shaya Melech. We find Yeravam and Nevat was a Melech Yisrael. Av Shahaya Mishevet Yosef. Aloi Haya Al Pi Navi. That was Al Pi Navi. So how was that? It was Al Pi Navi that he became a Melech Yisrael. So how that happened? How that happened? The Navi didn't know the halacha. Avokan haloi haya al pi askamas kol Yisrael yitin lahem keser malchus. It was Klal Yisrael, Chachmanoy Yisrael, Gedolei Yisrael that said that the base Chashmanoy be malchus. By the way, in an intelligent speech by Netanyahu spoke 2 days ago at the honor of Chanukah. Our Prime Minister spoke, and the one who introduced him said that he thinks that today the Prime Minister is the Melech Yisrael, and that was the cover that he gave him, that he was the Melech Yisrael. Netanyahu today is considered the Melech Yisrael. So when Netanyahu got up to speak, he said, "I hope I'm not the Melech Yisrael, because Melech Yisrael could only go to Shevet Yehuda, and if you're not from Shevet Yehuda, your zera is completely erased." So he says, "I'm not looking to be a Melech." Very good. So he's also holding with the Indian over here. It's such an enigmatic country that we live in.
After all, his name is Binyamin.
Binyamin. How does he know he's not from Shevet Yehuda? How does he know he's not from Shevet Yehuda? Maybe he's from Shevet Yehuda. Even to Yanai, John, Yanai Malka, Yanai Hamelech, Amru, Rav Lecha Keser Malchus, Hanoch Keser Kahuna. Enough with the Keser Kahuna, Yanai. You are the Melech. Yanai Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim. That's what they said. You see, we're going back to David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Kayim Malchus Beis David, Malchus Yehuda. The historical errors of appointing Yanai and the Tzedukim and the Beis Chashmanoy, of appointing them kings. Furthermore, let's understand, okay, so Klal Yisrael went in a direction where it was off and needed a chiropractic adjustment to get back on, where the Malchus based David becomes Malchus Yisrael. But if you look at, like, if you're living in that generation where the Chashmanoyim became Melech, it's hard to call it this is a big Aver. It's not like they worshipped Avodah Zarah. They did it, but it's not like they worshipped Avodah Zarah or Gilui Arayos or Shvichas Damim. To have such a kares that there's no Zera Zaram that's Kayim Ad Olam, it was a historic twist. It was a historical error. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu was so busy fixing this historical error that there was no other way to do it except to erase the whole family, erase the board, delete, backspace. Hafla v'fela.
And then after 200 years, there's a lot of them. It's not like one.
Thousands and thousands. Yeah.
You see, now got the message though. The man
got the point. By the way, this is the Ramban's Chiddush. It's the Ramban's Chiddush. I'll offer the Ramban, but the Ramban is saying a huge Chiddush. You want to know why there's no Chashmanoyim anymore? Because they took the Malchus. That's a pretty big Chiddush for a Rishon to say. I'd say. Amnon ha'inyan hu. See, they also, I think it's a mistake because the Olam Tainas, the Yeshiva World Tainas, that the reason why Chanukah is not a Masechta or not even a Mishnah like Purim is because the whole thing was wrong. That's what the whole thing was wrong. They shouldn't have taken the Malchus. So therefore, Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, who was from Shevet Malchus based David, was kind of upset with them. So it always had a reach rat to me, that part. But it's silly if you think about it, because the Chashmanoyim themselves didn't do anything wrong. They were tzaddikim ta'arim kedoshim. There could have been a Mishnah and a Masechta about the Chashmanoyim without getting involved with the Malchus based Chashmanoyim. But Hadra Kushi Ladufta, you see the Gemara does call the Malchus based Chashmanoyim. Amnam ha'inyan hu al pi ma shenamar b'Zohar HaKadosh. Says the Tzaddik Yesod Nifla. The way you want to understand this is al pi haZohar. Amar Malka Mikan Ulahala Krova Dili is Maser Biyadcha Zainin Dili Mari Magicha Karva Biyadcha. Get it? Zohar says as follows: that it's difficult to understand unless you work on it for a couple of minutes, but it's worth it. Says the Zohar. There is an idea of a matronisa that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Zohar gives a mashal, Rishon Baruch Hu gives a mashal. Let's understand it maturely and deeply. Zohar gives a mashal to a melech that picked a wife from all of the different opportunities that were available to him in terms of queens and wives and shvachos and women, and he picked one. How is she going to stand out? How is it going to become clear that this is my malka and it's not another shivcha? How is it going to become clear that I live with her is not enough of a mashal? It's not enough of a raya. How is it that I'm giving her wealth is not enough? So says the Zohar, putting in my words, I hope I'm saying it good, that he said that the melech, V'chiyikari de malka de matronisa tezel v'hitagach kirba v'hiazla shlicha. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu created a situation where this particular malka became in charge of everything. Anybody who had to speak to the melech had to go to the malka. Anytime the melech wanted to speak to the people, he went through the malka. Anybody who had a budgetary concern had to go to the malka. So the Rebbetzin was in charge, and that's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu did in the mashal of the Zohar. That's what he did with Klal Yisrael. He made Klal Yisrael the matronisa of HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba'atzmai. So therefore, says the Zohar, everything that happens in this world has to go through Klal Yisrael, which is called the Matronisa, which is the queen. Eishes Chayil Miyimsa. And anything that Klal Yisrael, or anything rather the world, universal world, wants to bring up to HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to go through Klal Yisrael. Not to be understood as an emtsai to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's certainly not to be understood that there's anybody in this world maybe that can't turn straight to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But there's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu in his impossible to understand systems created a world of olamos and spheroids and malachim. So the way that whole thing works is that Klal Yisrael is the matronisa.
How does that work with the rest of the mashal? Meaning, who has to go to Klal Yisrael in order to...
So I'll read you the lashon of the Zohar who speaks about this. Kol behacha, from this moment on, this is the Dimshal. Kol mila de malka biyada de matronisa is basra. From now on, anything the Melech says goes through the hands of the malka. Afkin biyada kol zayin delay. I'm going to put all the weapons in her hands. Roy machim, sayofim, kashotin, chitzin, charovin, blistorim, kastiroim, oyin, ivnin, seven different tools of war. Ramachim, sayofim, bows and arrows, spears, swords, stones, eitzim. 10 rather. Hemasara mine, he says in the Pirush, Hemasara mine klizai keneged ha'eser gevurais hamispashetas mi'eser svirais shalom alchus. We don't have to understand it to know that that's cool. Kol Indian Mari Megichi Karva. He put in her hands all of the soldiers, Megichi Karva, or the Tzahal, in the hands of this queen. Adahu Desiv, Hine Mitase Shalishloy by Shishim Gibarim, Hula Machuze Cherem, Eloim De Milchama. Everything's in her hand. Amar Malka, Mikan Lahalo Karva Dilias Maser Biyadach. From now on, all the milchamos themselves are going to be in your hands. Zainin dili marim gichi karva b'yadcha, and all of my weapons and all of my soldiers and all of the wars themselves are going into you. Mikan lahala at havi naturally. And from here on, you are shomeresly. Hado desiv shomer Yisrael. Listen to this, mind-boggling. Shomer Yisrael. How do you read that pasuk? How does the whole world read that pasuk? Shomer Yisrael, Shomer Yisrael. That the what? Who's the shomer? Hashem is the shomer. Shomer Yisrael Pirush. Shomer Shel Zerampin Hanikra Yisrael. That Klal Yisrael, you have just become my shomer. Klal Yisrael is called Shomer Yisrael. Yisrael the shomer. Mikano lahala man deitzrichli, from this point on, man deitzrichli lo yachalo malala imi ad oidel matronisa. From now on, anybody who needs me cannot talk to me until you speak to the queen. Bezois yavai Aaron el HaKodesh. This is how Aaron came to the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shlucha de malka b'kola b'kama d'ukimna. It's a lashon here. I just want to. The reason why he's bringing here is the union of Malchus. Malchus is the key word over here. And here's how it works in the Nimshal again. Kol shlichusa de boy malka mibei matronisa nafka. Any shlichus, anytime HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to do something in the world, it has to come from the Malchus. The queen is called Malchus, the queen. So in other words, the Malka in the Nimshal is in charge of Hashgacha Pratis. We're the Malka. That's us. Ukol shlichus mitata lemalka, and any shlichus from down to up, lebei matronisa ayil. It has to go through the bei matronisa, the queen. That's us. Ayil b'kabisa, lebei matronisa, ayil b'kabisa, ubitabon lemalka. And from the queen goes up. Ishtakach comes out. The matronisa iya shlichin dekula, that everything goes through the queen. Me'ela l'sata, from top to bottom, ubitata le'ela, and from bottom to top. In Hebrew, nimsa sha'amalchus hi hashaliach l'chol davar, bein lahashpia milamala lamata, bein l'kabalat tfilos milamata lamala. So everybody knows that when we're davening, it's going through, everybody in the world is davening, going through Eretz Yisrael, through Yerushalayim, through the Malkim HaMikdash, going up. Valda I shlicha dekula. And as far as this goes, everything goes through this shliach, and this shliach is called the Malkan, it's also called the Malach. Hado dechsi vayisa Malach Elokim ha'holich lifnei machane Yisrael. It's talking about Yisrael de le'ela shuzer anpin. The point is this, without getting too deeply involved in it, it means to say, at least the way I understand it, that this, the Zohar calls, this is why Rabbi Tzadok is bringing, the Zohar calls His Matronisa, something like we call the Shechina, calls it Malchus. So Malchus doesn't only mean who's the king, who's wearing the crown, who's sitting in the Oval Office. That's not the only pshat in Malchus. There's another pshat in Malchus in the sense that this Malchus becomes the switch, the gateway, the toggle, from up to down and from down to up. So let's just understand it deeply. We have a few minutes to understand this deeply. I spoke weeks ago about how the olamais work. Isarusa de le'ela, isarusa de l'sata. How the spheroids work. And everything obviously starts, Rav Tzadok in Kedusha Shabbos, everything obviously starts with Hashem and works its way into this world through different emanations until we get what we see. Grass, rabbits, people, mitzvahs, averos. What we see, touch and feel, that's the world of Asiyah. Things go through these worlds, Atzilus, Eitzel Hashem. Bria starts taking some form, Yetzirah takes even more form, Asiyah. Comes into this world. In the world of spheres that are going on at the same time, it's starting with Chesed, Gevurah, Mor Tzimtzum, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. Yesod is where it hits the ground. Malchus is where we are. So we're always understanding Malchus as the hashpah from Shamayim to Aretz. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not, doesn't want his hashpah to remain ethereal. He doesn't want to just be some concept. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is very real in our lives. And he's very real in our lives that we can talk and we can daven and we can live. You know, I was thinking that Yosef, it says Shem Shemaim Shagur Al Piv. The Shem Shemaim Shagur Al Piv, meaning he was not just he said Baruch Hashem Yetz Hashem. It was an ongoing, constant conversation with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All day long, Yosef was talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He was in the prison, he was in the palace, wherever he was talking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shem Shemaim Shagur Al Piv. I believe that's what it means. Shem Shemaim Shagur Al Piv. Interesting. So we always understood Malchus, that Malchus is coming from top to bottom. Rav Tzadok is bringing a Zohar to tell us that that's not all the Malchus is. Malchus is also the switch which takes that which came from top to bottom, converts it into Gashmias, takes the Gashmias and is mala it from bottom to top. So now, Ein Melech B'loi Am, we have to take the world and create the world into a Malchus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what the Beit HaMikdash is all about. That's what Yerushalayim is all about. That's what mitzvahs are all about. That's what our little acts of chesed are all about. Making this world God's world. Malchus Hashem. This is, by the way, called, this is the real meaning, making this toggle of Tikkun Olam. I'll show you what I mean. But the concept first clearly, that Malchus is not only something on the bottom, Malchus is the switch, which goes from top to bottom, conversion switch in the world of technology. There must be such a way. That which converts it and takes it and brings it back up.
Transformer is what it's
Okay, and hence we have the circle.
Step up. Yeah.
Hence we have the circle called the world. And the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided that he wants to. Who's sitting at the bottom of this circle? At the bottom of the circle, who is the transformer? The Malka Kadisha, the Malka. The Malka, the Matronisa, which is Klal Yisrael. Klal Yisrael is in charge of this aspect of the whole Bria, where we are the ones, we were created for this. We are the ones that can take that which is spiritual, ethereal, conceptual, and bring it into the physical world, take the physical world and bring it back up. That's Shabbos. Because Sheishis Yomim Tasim Lachtecha, Yom HaShvi Hashem Elikecha. The Sheishis Yomei Ma'asav, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was that he created the world for 6 days, and on the seventh day, it's ours. What's ours? What are we supposed to do with it? We're supposed to take it, and we're supposed to use it, l'chvayt Shabbos, l'chvayt Hashem, l'chvayt Torah. That's what we're using our bodies for, our money for. Everything is l'chvayt Shabbos, l'chvayt Shabbos, l'chvayt Shabbos. Big day Shabbos, everything is l'chvayt Shabbos. So that's a new, deeper understanding of Malchus. So let me give a good muscle of this. We say, somebody have a sitter next to them? Sure. The tefillah we all know by heart, Dafka. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol. L'seis kedula li'yotzer b'reisha shelo yasanu ki goyei ha'aratzeis. It's a tefillah, a piyut about Klal Yisrael. We're here, Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol. L'seis kedula li'yotzer b'reisha shelo yasanu ki goyei ha'aratzeis. We're not like all the other goyei ha'aratzeis. V'lo yisabanu k'mishpachos ha'adama. We're not like all the other families of the earth. We don't have the same chelik as them. We don't have the same garel as them. I don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. But v'anachnu karim v'mishtachim v'moedim l'fnei melech malchei hamlochim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We've got it right because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one. So Frank the Piyut, what are we doing with HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Melech malchei hamlochim. What are we doing in this world? Because Shehu noiteh shemayim v'yoysei ha'aretz. He's the one who made the shemayim ha'aretz. V'moishav yikarai. And that's where he would start off, if not for us. But that we're here to bring HaKadosh Baruch Hu down to earth, ground. Hu alikenu einoid emes malkenu efes ulasai v'yadata yevashivoisel v'vecha ki Hashem holikim meshamayim mal v'aloretz mitochas. So this is a paragraph which talks about how the godliness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes from a place of high into the earth mamish. Who wrote this? Yoshua. Why? Yoshua wrote this when he came into Eretz Yisrael. Because coming into Eretz Yisrael, Aleinu L'Shabeach was exactly this avoda. Was exactly the avoda of Lo Sabanu Kamish V'Lo Sadanu. Lo Sam Chelkeinu Kehem. We're understanding that it's so much so that we have a land to farm. It's so much so that we're so down to earth. We've brought, not that we're down to earth, we've brought the energy of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the spheroids of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, mamish to a place of malchus. That's what all this is about. That we're moided to our malchus. It's so important to think about this. But here's what's more important. Al Keda Kama L'cha Hashem. Who wrote that? Achan. Right? Al Kain Akam. Ayin Chaf Nun. Let's review our Bible. Achan. Klal Yisrael came into Eretz Yisrael. They had a miraculous victory in Yericho. Victory in Nitzchon in Yericho. And Yoshua said, let's not just have a victory, a military victory. Yoshua says, it's all before in the pasuk. Let's make this something which is like serious Kiddush Hashem. And let's make sure everybody understands in this country, Kananim, let's make sure that they understand that we're not doing this for money. We're not doing this for political gain or for even, we're not land grabbing. So, Aser, Lahanois Minacherem. So Yeshua made an announcement, Al Pi Hashem, that nobody's allowed to take anything. Nobody's allowed to take any money. Nobody's allowed to take any women. Nobody's allowed to take any booty. Nobody's allowed to live in their houses. Chayrim an Yericho. And they had a huge hatzlacha. Next time, next war, next city on Ai. So says the Sefer Yeshua, they came to Ai. Bad news for the bears. Ai, and Ai. Exactly right. No. Ai. I think that's where it came from, huh? Ai. Now follow me, men Rav. Now follow me, men Rav.
36.
36. That was big. Look what happens today if we lose one soldier. One soldier. It's tragedy. 36 means, where's HaKadosh Baruch Hu? That's the way we look at things. We're so medactic on Hashem. 36 in a war. A bunch of nomads coming into a country. You'll go to 36. Yeshua, he cursed begodov. He ripped his clothes. He was ba'avelos because he understood Hashem is not with us in the same way. Makarai at a nevuah, Hashem told him because Nisa minacheirem. Vahi Ochan ben Karmi ben Zavdi. Huh? Ben Zera. Lemate Yehuda. David knows his Tanakh. Where did it come from? Mate Yehuda. On the Dayek. Menana minacherem. He took a lashon of zahav. He took some jewelry. He took stuff. He took stuff. Couldn't resist. Took stuff. He hasn't seen stuff in years. Came from Mitzrayim. 40 years was a new Torah. Right? This is nothing. They weren't in Mitzrayim stuff. So he took the stuff. Menana minacherem. Okay. Yoshua says the Torah. Yoshua did a Al Pi Hashem. Did a prophetic discovery system, and he took the Aron and he went from Shevet to Shevet until he found out that it was from Shevet Yehuda. Then he went from Mishpacha to Mishpacha until he found out it was from Beizari. And then he went from house to house until narrowed it down until he got to Achan. And the end of the story was they took Achan to Beis Achar, am I right? Beis Achar, and they by Yirgumu Oisai Ba'aven, and so the Shechina came back to Klal Yisrael, and we started winning wars again. Achan, his parting words were Al Kein Nekava L'cha Hashem. Elokeinu Lirois Meheira B'Sifaris Uzecha. This was his vidui, if you will. Tikun. Mahaver Giluli Min Ha'aretz V'Halilim Karesi Karesum. The mistake of Achan was that he didn't understand how deep Malchus is. He didn't understand how down to earth and how much Hashgacha Pratis and how much Shmira HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving that little Achan goes and puts his hand into the pushka of Yericho. What's the big thing that the whole Klal Yisrael is going to lose a war and I killed 36 people because I took some jewelry into my house and put it in my pocket when nobody was looking? What was he seeing? What did he witness? What was the lesson of Klal Yisrael here? That Malchus is very, very deep. Malchus is very, very deep, and Hashem sees everything, so the Hashgacha Pratis is very, very deep, but not only that. L'sakein olam, says Achan, l'sakein olam b'malchus shakai, v'chol b'nei basar yikru ishmecha, v'hafnei selecha kol rishei haaretz. This is now not talking about what Hashem shmir on us is, this is talking about Shomer Yisrael, Yisrael the Shomer. Yisrael the Shomer, the new kavanah that we have to have every time we say Shomer Yisrael. Yisrael is the Shomer. I'm tending this garden here. And my job is, lahafnei selecha kol rishei haaretz. My job is to get everybody like Avraham Avinu to understand that there's HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this world. Hafnei selecha kol rishei haaretz. Yakir v'yedu kol yeshvei say. But what's all this called? L'sakein olam b'malchus shakai. Our job is to do tikkun olam. That's what Achan understood before he died. Our job is to do tikkun olam b'malchus shakai, in the malchus of shakai. Do you understand that shakai is the name of the bria, one of the names of the bria? So what does it say? Misha Amar Lamai, die. That's what shakai means. Shin Daladu. Misha Amar die. Misha Amar die. Hashem said die. When Hashem created the bria, He said die. Let's understand it. What does it mean He said die? It means that Hashem created the world, gave us a seed. The seed goes into the ground. Half of it fell, and the seed becomes a tree. The tree becomes branches. The branches become fruit. The fruit become apple pie. No. Die. Cotton grows. Half of a vela, the cotton grows. Cotton's beautiful. Cotton becomes a shirt. Die. Misha Amar Lamai die. Hashem said die. This is as far as the bria is going to go. This is as far as the bria is going to go. What happens now? How do we get our shirts? Take over, guys. L'sakein olam b'malchus she'amar die. That our job is to finish the bria. Asher bara Elokim la'asos. L'sakein olam b'malchus shakai means that when it comes to the malchus of shakai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought it this far. Now your job is to bring it further. That's what Achan misunderstood. This was the lesson to Klal Yisrael. L'sakein olam malchus shakai. That's why he said Al Kein Nekava. Now, this die might end when Mashiach comes. Asid ha'ilanois l'hoitzik v'uska'is. There's going to come a time, but right now there's Eser Malachos. Since the Chet of Adam Arishan, there's Eser Malachos to making a pass. That's called Tikkun Olam. Whether it's
What's the Lashon Nekava then? What kind of Nekava?
why Nekava? Okay, Nekava l'chashem lirois me'er v'sibaris v'zecha. That if we do the Tikkun completely, that the world is Mesukan, and if the world would be Mesukan, we'll take over in the short term Eretz Yisrael, and ultimately we'll be Mesaking the Chet of Adam Arishan and have Mashiach. That's the Tikva. Tikva. This is the Nigan. Okay, very good. Okay, Nekava l'chashem. Beautiful, right? The real hatikva of Achan. So, what is Reb Tzadok saying? Comes Reb Tzadok and he tells us that, okay, there's Malchus and there's Malchus. There's the Malchus, Beis David, of who is the king of Israel. There's the Malchus Beis Chashmanoy, which was a Malchus before there was Malchus. Meaning, there was a Malchus of Moshe Rabbeinu, there was a Malchus of Yoshua, there was a Malchus of all Kol Minei Mad Malchei Rabbanon, the Gemara says. There's no more Kohanim, there are no more, we don't know who Beis David is, we don't know who the Kohanim are, they're not the Malachim. Who's the Malachim today? Meaning, who's the switch? Who's the switching point that's bringing everything, like the Zohar says, from Bala to Bata and from Bata to Bala?
Change place.
The change place. Who is it? Who's the transformer? Those that are teaching Torah. Those that understand what the Ratzon Hashem is and how to do Tikkun Olam. Doesn't mean rabbis. Rabbanon means those that are bringing Torah down to earth. Mad Malchei Rabbanon. So it's a different type of Malchus. As Reb Tzadok, and he tells us that this is why they were called Malchus even before they were Malchus. What was the big onesh of the Beis Chashmanoy? The big onesh of the Beis Chashmanoy is that they took the Malchus the wrong way. They understood their function as being Melachim of ruling the people, but they didn't understand the Malchus, or they weren't qualified bringing for the people up. The Tikkun Olam. It was the it's so interesting, by the way, that Achan was Mimata Yehuda. You have a function of Malchus. You have Malchus in your blood. Mimata Yehuda. Ben Zavdi, Ben Karmi, Ben Zari, whatever. Mimata Yehuda. You should have evaporated this upward, and if you would have done that, not only we would have had you would have expedited the Mashiach. And we're still helping. Here, Rabbi Shai, please, I just want to say that it doesn't say anywhere in Halacha you're supposed to give a shir on Chanukah, but it does say you're supposed to eat and celebrate and give Haidah.
I think the reason we have Sukkaniot is because that causes to make our milk, and we say Almud B'chafa, and we miss the fair.
The Haidah is Lahala, L'Shem Chalav, do it. Maybe say a nigga, L'Chavah Chanukah? Shukach,